controversy brews as movies are being deemed better than their literary counterparts. While most readers claim the book reigns supreme, some films make you forget there was ever a book to begin with. Check out this gallery to see which movies outshone their paper versions. Jaws is a classic movie which won an Oscar. It's based on a book, but the movie did a better job at telling the story by taking out unnecessary parts and adding an explosive ending. The Princess Bride, a beloved classic film, was adapted for the screen by its author, William Goldman, causing little controversy. A timeless story for all generations. In 1997, Quentin Tarantino adapted Elmore Leonard's novel, Rum Punch, into the film, Jackie Brown. Tarantino changed the story's protagonist from a white air stewardess to a black woman, played by Pam Grier. This film remains Grier's career best, and is a must-watch for fans of crime films. Anthony Burgess's novel, A Clockwork Orange, was adapted into a cult classic film by Stanley Kubrick in 1971. The violent story was made more digestible and effective through Kubrick's unique aesthetic. A must-see film for fans of the book and newcomers alike. French author Pierre Boulle's novel, Planet of the Apes became a groundbreaking film in 1968. The story follows a journalist and professor who discover an intelligent ape culture, with a climactic twist absent in the original book. Ian Fleming's novel, The Spy Who Loved Me, may have disappointed readers with its lack of James Bond action, but the 1977 film adaptation starring Roger Moore as Bond delivered on all the thrills. The novel doesn't even feature Bond until the end. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho turns Robert Bloch's one line into an iconic slasher movie, filled with suspense and surprise. Hitchcock's version surpassed the book. The movie Die Hard, released in 1988, was a classic take on Roderick Thorpe's book Nothing Lasts Forever. The film added humor and personality to the characters, which has influenced popular culture far beyond the book. In entertainment news, the controversial novel, The Bridges of Madison County, has been making headlines again. The book about an affair between a photographer and a farm wife is beloved by some and loathed by others, especially when compared to the star-studded film adaptation starring Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood. Despite the backlash, the story continues to captivate audiences. In The Notebook adaptation, Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling bring Nicholas Sparks's novel to life. The movie draws tears from even the most cynical viewers. Despite its predictable plot, the film was a hit and elevated from its book origins. The sci-fi classic, Blade Runner, was loosely adapted from the novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The ambiguity surrounding Deckard being a replicant changed the energy of the film, creating much debate among audiences. The movie, Forrest Gump, based on the novel, left out some pretty wild plotlines, such as Forrest becoming an astronaut, working with an orangutan named Sue in space, and crash landing among cannibals in a forest. Drive is a stylish film that exceeds the original novel thanks to Ryan Gosling's performance. Though the plot may lack depth, Gosling's portrayal of his character's violence is visually stunning. Stanley Kubrick's 1964 film, Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, is a must-watch for its commentary on nuclear war. With an eye for evolving narratives, Kubrick turned this thriller into social commentary with a lasting impression. In The Graduate, 1967, starring Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft, the film adaptation of Charles Webb's novella is elevated with an iconic Simon and Garfunkel score. With Hoffman as the lead and Bancroft as his seducer, the film remains a classic. The classic film, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, has shifted perspective from the chief narrator to McMurphy, played by Jack Nicholson. The dynamic conflict between McMurphy and Nurse Ratched is even more intense in the film adaptation of the popular novel. Stephen King expresses disappointment with Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of The Shining. Despite his criticism of the portrayal of Jack's supernatural possession, grounding the horror in reality made it even more frightening. 1991's The Silence of the Lambs features powerful performances from Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins as Clarice and Hannibal Lecter. Despite its streamlined plot, the film remains a classic in the thriller genre. Cormac McCarthy's writing is unique but not for everyone. The film adaptation of No Country for Old Men by the Coen brothers adds humor and a more enjoyable style to the story. Jurassic Park was a groundbreaking film in 1993, impressing audiences with its realistic dinosaurs that still outshine remakes today. Director Spielberg also adds depth to characters, surpassing the book's development. The iconic film, The Godfather, 1972, is a must-watch for anyone interested in American cinema. Director Francis Ford Coppola's adaptation of Mario Puzo's novel streamlined the story, making it a captivating feat of filmmaking. It's no wonder people love to watch it over and over again. The Shawshank Redemption is hailed as a classic film, and although it's based on Stephen King's novella, many forget this fact, but there's a reason for that. Find out more. The movie adaptation of Chris Van Allsburg's Jumanji may have been based on a picture book, but it has become a childhood classic. Boasting an all-star cast, the film successfully brought the board game to life on the big screen. James Fenimore Cooper's The Last of the Mohicans is a classic 18th-century novel, but it's slow and dense. The film adaptation, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, is fast-paced and much more accessible. Stephen King's The Body becomes a beloved classic in Stand By Me, 1986. Director Rob Reiner flawlessly captures bittersweet childhood nostalgia and dark humor, staying true to the novella's plot. A must-see for fans of the book and filmgoers alike. The film adaptation of James Ellroy's L.A. Confidential has won over the novel as it beautifully captures 1950s Los Angeles. This neo-noir classic is a must-watch. Today's entertainment news highlights the cult classic, Fight Club. While the novel is a masterpiece, fans often prefer the film for its ending and Brad Pitt's portrayal of Tyler Durden. Stay tuned for more updates. The film, Requiem for a Dream, directed by Darren Aronofsky, leaves a lasting impression with its haunting imagery. The visuals go beyond what the book describes, making it a must-see film. Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, and Kevin Bacon star in Mystic River. Directed by Clint Eastwood, this film adapted from Dennis Lehane's novel is a must-watch, delivering exceptional performances and a gripping storyline. Paul Thomas Anderson's masterpiece film, There Will Be Blood, successfully adapted Upton Sinclair's Oil, by using only the first 150 pages of the novel. The film delivers an outstanding performance by transforming the book's dark satire into something exceptional, engaging, and emotional. Wes Anderson successfully adapted Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox into a mature, refined, and deeply sweet film that still appeals to all audiences. Check out the article for a list of actors who hated their on-screen characters.